Welcome back, Sammy Hegab here, your presenter of The Way for Revival. Now I'll be discussing the reality of the Muslims. Although there are many Muslims in the world, their lives are characterized and dominated by a mixture of Islamic, Western, socialist, nationalist, regional, sectarian thoughts, and sometimes emotions as well. The reality of the Muslim lands. Now, if we look at the Muslim lands, which are primarily the Arab areas, they are unfortunately all governed by the laws and systems of kufr, except for some Islamic laws, of course, such as the laws of marriage, divorce, wife financial support, inheritance, exaggerate, all of which are implemented by specifically appointed courts called the divine courts. In Arabic it's called Mahkama Shari'iyya. There are also some other divine rules which are applied in the courts of some Muslim countries such as Saudi Arabia and Iran. The dar, which basically means land in Arabic, which Muslims inherit. Now these lands in which Muslims currently live throughout the world, their reality is that they are all Dar al-Kufr, land of disbelief, and not Dar al-Islam, land of Islam. In order to understand the situation, we have to understand the reality of Dar al-Islam and the reality of Dar al-Kufr according to the viewpoint of Sharia. Dar al-Islam, according to divine terminology, Dar al-Islam is defined as the land which is governed by the laws of Islam and whose security, aman, is maintained by the security of Islam. For example, by the authority and protection of the Muslims inside and outside the land, even if the majority of its inhabitants are non-Muslims. Now, Dar al-Kufr, in contrast, according to the divine terminology, Dar al-Kufr is the land which is governed by the laws of Kufr, and whose security is not maintained by the security of Aman, of Islam, but for example by other than the authority and security of Muslims, even if the majority of its inhabitants are Muslims. So even if the majority of the land is predominantly Muslims, but if it's governed by anything other than Islam, it's called land of kufr, land of disbelief. And if it's governed by Islam, even though the majority of the inhabitants of that land are non-Muslims, then it's called Dar al-Islam, which basically means land of Islam in Arabic. So what matters is determined whether the land is Dar al-Islam or Dar al-Kufr is not the land itself nor its inhabitants, rather it's the laws and security. So if the laws and Islamic if the laws are Islamic and the security is maintained by the Muslims, then it is Dar al-Islam, like I said. And when its laws are laws of kufr, disbelief, and its security is not maintained by Muslims, then it is Dar al-Kufr or Dar al-Harb, land of disbelief or land of war. This understanding is taken from the tradition of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, narrated by Sulaiman bin Buraida. He reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Call them to Islam, and if they agree, accept from them and refrain from fighting against them. Then call them to move from their land to the land of Muhajirin, the immigrants in Arabic, and tell them if they do so, they will have the rights which the Muhajirin enjoy, and they will have duties like the duties upon the Muhajirin." What does this hadith indicate? It is that if they did not move from their land to the land of Muhajirin, they would not enjoy what the Muhajirin enjoy. For example, the rights of those who are living in the land of Islam. So this hadith clearly shows a difference between those who move to the land of Muhajirin and those who do not move to the land of Muhajirin. Dar al-Muhajirin was the Dar of Islam at the time of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and all other lands outside were Dar al-Kufr. It was from this hadith that the term of Dar al-Islam and Dar al-Kufr or Dar the government and its authority. It is clear then that the indication of the dar, the land, is determined through the identification of its authority, sultan. This authority cannot be verified except on two issues. Firstly, looking after the interest according to certain laws. Secondly, the power which protects the citizens and implements the laws, for example the security. This is why the two previous conditions were required. Furthermore, the application of the law has other evidence. Allah Supreme says, "Those who do not govern with what Allah has revealed, they are the disbelievers." And this was in Surah, with chapter 5 and verse 44. And also in the hadith of Ibn Malik regarding the bad imams, in which was mentioned, "O Prophet of Allah, shouldn't we declare war against them?" He said, "No, as long as they establish the prayer among you." And also from the hadith narrated by Ubaidah ibn as-Samit regarding the pledge bay'ah, which stated, "And we must not dispute the matter with its people unless we see clear kufr upon which you have proof from Allah." And it was also narrated by Tabarani. He said, "Unless you see open kufr." So these texts indicate that to the rule which anything other than the laws of Allah is a matter which makes it obligatory upon Muslims to declare war against the ruler, and it is evidence which indicate that implementing Islam is a condition for having Dar al-Islam, otherwise the ruler must be fought against.